In a world obsessed with longevity, a world of cryotherapy, biohacking, and smartwatches that track our every heartbeat, what if I told you that one group consistently outlives many of us without any of it? They don't count macros. They don't have gym memberships. And their primary mode of transportation was considered cutting edge in the 1800s. We're talking about the old order Amish. And when we look at why they often live longer, healthier lives, the obvious answers, clean air, organic food, are only a tiny part of the story. The truth is far more surprising, and it holds powerful lessons for our own hypermodern lives. When most people think Amish health, their minds jump straight to diet. And it's true, they eat what they grow. It's the original farm to table. But here's the first surprise. The Amish diet isn't what you'd see on the cover of a modern health magazine. It can be heavy, rich in butter, potatoes, and pies. Delicious, absolutely. But it's not a low-calorie, low-fat miracle diet. So, if it's not just a food, what is it? The second myth is that they live a stress-free life. A life without email notifications, 24-hour news cycles, and social media pressure sounds blissful. And in many ways it is. But they have their own, very real stressors. The threat of a bad harvest, community disputes, the physical toll of manual labor. The secret isn't the absence of stress. It's the structure they've built to handle it. And that brings us to the first real pillar of their longevity. In our world, we have to schedule exercise. We drive to a gym to walk on a machine that doesn't go anywhere. For the Amish, movement isn't an event. It's the very texture of their existence. Scientists have a name for this: NEAT, or non-exercise activity thermogenesis. It's the energy we burn doing everything except sleeping, eating, or dedicated exercise. And the Amish are the undisputed champions of NEAT. A landmark study from the University of Maryland found that the average Amish man takes 18,000 steps a day, and the average woman takes 14,000. To put that in perspective, the average American struggles to clear 5,000. They walk everywhere. Their work is physical. Their homes are free of the labor-saving devices we take for granted. They don't have to find time to be active. Their environment is designed for it. They've built a world where the healthy choice is the default choice. While we've become masters of engineering convenience into our lives, they have preserved the health benefits of necessary, purposeful effort. But all that physical activity is only one piece of the puzzle. You can walk 20,000 steps a day and still be deeply unhealthy if you're alone. And this is where the Amish have, perhaps, their greatest advantage. This is a barn raising. It's the most famous image of Amish life for a reason. When a family's barn burns down, the entire community shows up. Within a day or two, a new one stands in its place. There's no insurance claim, no crowdfunding campaign, just hands, hammers, and a shared sense of duty. The Amish live by a principle called Gelassenheit. It's a German word with no perfect English equivalent, but it means a sense of yielding or submission to the will of the community and a higher power. It's the polar opposite of our modern, individualistic mindset. This builds an incredibly powerful social safety net. Modern research is catching up to this ancient wisdom. Studies have shown that chronic loneliness can be as damaging to your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. We have thousands of friends online, but many people have no one to call if their car breaks down, let alone if their house burns down. The Amish provide us with a living model of what deep social integration looks like. This isn't just about feeling good. It has measurable biological effects. Strong social ties are linked to lower inflammation, better immune function, and reduced levels of the stress hormone cortisol. In a very real sense, their community is a form of medicine. This deep connection provides an unshakable sense of belonging and purpose. You are never truly alone, and that purpose extends beyond just community support. It's woven into the fabric of their minds. Now, after all this talk of lifestyle, we have to address a fascinating biological curveball. Because the Amish aren't just a cultural community, they're also a genetic one. They are a closed population, meaning they've descended from a few hundred German-Swiss immigrants from the 18th century. This is known as the founder effect. It can increase the risk of certain genetic diseases, but it can also, by pure chance, amplify rare, beneficial traits. In 2017, researchers at Northwestern University studying an old order Amish community in Indiana made a stunning discovery. They found a significant number of individuals with a mutation in a gene called SERPIN1. This mutation results in very low levels of a protein called PI1, which is known to be involved in aging and age-related diseases. The people with this genetic variant had a 10% longer average lifespan. They had dramatically lower rates of diabetes and better metabolic health. It was like they had a built-in defense against some of the ravages of time. But here's the critical point. The scientists who discovered this longevity gene were quick to emphasize something profound. This genetic gift would be meaningless in a different environment. It's the synergy of their genes and their lifestyle that unlocks this potential. A gene that protects against diabetes is powerful, but it's even more powerful in a body that walks 18,000 steps a day and isn't flooded with processed sugar. It's a perfect marriage of nature and nurture. So, what can we, in our busy, wired world, learn from all this? The answer isn't to sell our cars and throw away our phones. It's about consciously reintroducing some of this timeless wisdom into our lives. It's about being the architects of our own healthier environments. First, manufacturing convenience. Instead of finding the closest parking spot, park at the back of the lot. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Walk to the coffee shop. Build small, consistent moments of movement back into your day. Reclaim the utility of your own body. Second, schedule real connection. Treat your social life with the same importance you treat your work or your workouts. Set a weekly dinner with family. Call an old friend instead of just liking their post. Join a club, a team, or a volunteer group. Find your barn-raising crew, the people you can truly count on. Third, curate your quiet. The Amish don't have to deal with digital noise, but we do. We have to be our own filter. Set a digital sunset, a time each evening when screens go off. Unsubscribe from newsletters you don't read. Turn off non-essential notifications. Give your mind the gift of undistracted peace, even if it's just for 30 minutes a day. The Amish live longer not because they've rejected the modern world, but because they've held onto things the modern world has forgotten. That our bodies are designed to move, that our souls are built for deep community, and that a life of purpose is the most powerful medicine of all. Perhaps the future of health isn't about finding the next technological solution, but about having the wisdom to remember what has always worked. In a world increasingly dependent on electricity, technology, and global supply chains, one group continues to live almost entirely off the grid, the Amish. With limited or no use of modern technology, Amish communities have developed unique ways to manage daily essentials, waste, water, and food. The Amish are a group of traditionalist Christian communities, best known for their simple living, plain dress, and reluctance to adopt modern technology. Originating in the 17th century from the Anabaptist movement in Europe, the Amish migrated to North America in the early 1700s to escape religious persecution. Today, most Amish live in the United States, with the largest populations in Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Indiana. They live in rural areas and generally avoid electricity from public utilities, automobiles, and other conveniences of modern life. Their lifestyle choices are guided by a set of religious rules known as the ordinum, which varies by community. Despite avoiding public utility systems, the Amish have found efficient and resourceful ways to access and manage water. Most Amish homes and farms rely on wells for fresh water. These wells are often drilled deep underground to access clean groundwater. To draw water, many use hand pumps or wind-powered pumps, eliminating the need for electric power. Some homes install elevated water tanks. These are filled manually or by windmill-driven pumps. Water flows into the house using gravity, providing running water for sinks and baths, without needing electric pressure systems. Rainwater harvesting is another common method. Collected rainwater is used for irrigation, cleaning, or laundry. The roofs of barns and houses often serve as collection surfaces, channeling water into storage barrels. Without electric water heaters, Amish families heat water using wood stoves, propane heaters, or solar-heated outdoor tanks. Heated water is carried or piped indoors when needed. While Amish families typically manage their own water systems, cleanliness is a priority. Regular well maintenance, sealed storage containers, and good hygiene practices help prevent contamination. Living off-grid also means finding responsible ways to deal with household and farm waste. Many Amish homes still use outhouses, simple outdoor toilet facilities. Others, especially in newer settlements, may install non-electric septic systems with gravity-fed plumbing. These systems treat waste on-site using tanks and leach fields. In some communities, composting toilets are gaining popularity. These dry systems separate liquid and solid waste, promoting natural decomposition. The resulting compost can be used to fertilize non-edible crops or disposed of safely. Water from sinks and baths, known as gray water, is sometimes reused for irrigation. Some households build basic filtration systems using gravel, sand, and natural vegetation to clean the water before releasing it into gardens or soil beds. The Amish generate less trash than the average American household. They minimize packaging, reuse glass jars and containers, and often buy in bulk or grow their own food. What little waste they produce is usually burned, composted, or repurposed. Scrap metal, wood, and old clothing are often repurposed. Metal is sent to scrap yards, wood is reused for building or heating, and clothing is mended or passed down. Nothing is wasted if it can be reused. Food self-sufficiency is a cornerstone of Amish life. Most families grow, raise, or preserve the majority of what they eat. Every Amish home has a large vegetable garden. Families grow a wide range of produce including potatoes, corn, beans, cabbage, carrots, tomatoes, and squash. Gardening is a daily task shared by all family members. Farms grow staple crops like wheat, oats, and alfalfa. Corn is used both for food and livestock feed. Plowing and planting are often done with horse-drawn equipment. Most Amish families keep livestock such as cows, pigs, chickens, and goats. Cows provide milk for drinking, cheese, and butter. Pigs are raised for pork, while chickens supply eggs and meat. Animals are raised ethically, often with access to pasture and natural feed. Veterinary care is handled through community knowledge or non-electric tools. Without electric refrigeration, the Amish rely on traditional food preservation techniques. Canning. Vegetables, fruits, and meats are pressure canned in glass jars and stored in cool cellars. Smoking and curing. Meats are smoked or salted to extend shelf life. Root cellars. These underground rooms store potatoes, onions, and carrots at stable temperatures year-round. Ice houses. Blocks of ice are harvested in winter from ponds and stored in insulated ice houses, providing cooling through the summer. While each family produces much of its own food, Amish communities are tightly knit. Food is often shared during church gatherings, weddings, or barn raisings. Families also barter goods like milk, eggs, or produce in exchange for other items or services. Some Amish sell excess produce, baked goods, and canned items at local farmers markets or roadside stands. This provides income while still staying within the boundaries of their lifestyle. Though Amish communities avoid electricity from the grid, they do use alternative sources when allowed by their church district. Propane is widely used for powering stoves, refrigerators, lights, and heaters. It offers a convenient energy source without requiring electrical wiring. Diesel engines power water pumps, milkers, washing machines, and woodworking tools. These engines are often kept in a separate building called an engine shed to keep machinery out of the home. Some Amish communities have recently begun adopting limited solar panels to charge batteries or power specific devices, like electric fences or lighting. However, usage is carefully regulated and varies by district. In workshops, Amish craftsmen often use air or hydraulic power to operate machinery. Compressed air systems provide a non-electric way to run tools such as drills, saws, and lathes. Animal waste is a major byproduct of Amish farms, but it's also a resource. Manure is collected and composted to create fertilizer for crops. It is spread manually or with horse-drawn manure spreaders. This natural fertilizer enhances soil health and eliminates the need for chemical alternatives. To prevent environmental damage, manure is often stored in pits or undercovered areas. Proper drainage and buffer zones around streams reduce runoff, protecting nearby water sources. Chicken manure is particularly rich in nitrogen. It's composted with straw or sawdust and applied to fields during planting season. Amish living promotes a deep culture of minimalism and responsibility. Since most food is homegrown, there's little reliance on packaged goods. When packaging is necessary, materials are reused or recycled whenever possible. Clothing is handmade and worn for years. Items are mended until they can no longer be used. Old fabric is reused for quilts or cleaning rags. Tools and furniture are built to last and repaired when damaged. Craftsmen often pass down techniques and tools through generations. The Amish lifestyle has a significantly lower environmental footprint than the average American household. Limited use of fossil fuels. No electronic waste. Reduced packaging and consumer goods. Closed-loop food and waste systems. This off-grid approach not only supports sustainability, but also strengthens self-reliance and community resilience. Despite their sustainable methods, Amish communities face challenges. Some areas require septic systems or ban outhouses. Without regulation, some wells may become contaminated from nearby farms. Urban sprawl, road development, and tourism bring new pressures. Weather unpredictability affects crop yields and water access. Still, Amish communities adapt in ways that preserve tradition without sacrificing practicality. The Amish approach to managing waste, water, and food may seem old-fashioned, but but it's built on systems that are sustainable, efficient, and community-focused. While their way of life isn't easily replicated in the modern world, it offers valuable insights into self-sufficiency, resilience, and living with less waste. By combining traditional knowledge with careful stewardship of the land, the Amish demonstrate that thriving off the grid is not only possible, it's sustainable. In today's age of autonomous tractors, satellite-guided seed drills, and automated irrigation systems, the idea of farming without modern machinery might seem like a relic of the distant past. Yet for over 2 centuries, Amish communities in North America have preserved a style of agriculture that intentionally avoids gasoline-powered engines and synthetic shortcuts. Their methods may look old-fashioned to the outside world, but they represent a deeply considered philosophy, one that prioritizes sustainability, community cooperation, and stewardship of the earth. The Amish trace their spiritual and cultural lineage to 17th century Swiss Anabaptists who separated from mainstream society in pursuit of religious freedom and a life untainted by modern temptations. When they migrated to North America in the early 1700s, they brought with them a wealth of knowledge in small-scale, labor-intensive agriculture, methods passed down through generations. As industrialization swept across the continent in the 19th and 20th centuries, introducing steam engines, tractors, and chemical inputs, the Amish made a different choice. Rather than embracing every new technological advancement, they asked a critical question: will this strengthen or weaken our community and way of life? For many Amish groups, the answer led to a rejection of mechanization, not because they oppose innovation per se, but because they prioritize balance. They are not anti-technology. They are selective about technology. This discernment is guided by a community-specific code of conduct known as the Ordnung. The Ordnung is not a written law but an oral tradition, a framework of guidelines that varies from one Amish district to another. It dictates everything from the style of clothing to the use of electricity and machinery. In the context of farming, the Ordnung shapes what kind of equipment can be used, how it must be powered, and even when communal labor is expected. Some communities allow diesel engines for stationary use. Others may permit solar-powered fence chargers or rubber tires under strict conditions. But the principle remains the same. Any tool or practice must reinforce community values, rather than replace them with convenience. At the heart of this approach lies the principle of gelassenheit, a concept embodying humility, submission, and contentment. In agriculture, gelassenheit manifests as mutual dependence, neighbors helping neighbors during harvest, families pooling labor for barn raisings, and a shared responsibility for the land. The absence of mechanization fosters a collective rhythm of life, where work is not just a means to an end but a communal act of service and faith. In the absence of tractors, Amish farmers rely on teams of draft horses or mules to power fieldwork. These animals are not just labor tools but vital companions, bred and trained for strength, endurance, and obedience. Plowing begins with moldboard plows, their steel blades turning over soil with clean precision. 4 lighter tasks, disc harrows and spring-tooth cultivators, are used to break up clumps, incorporate manure, or prepare seedbeds before planting. Fields are often walked to remove stones that could damage tools or injure horses. Timing is crucial. Amish farmers often till just after frost. Heaves naturally loosen the soil, maximizing aeration and minimizing compaction. This synergy between nature and manual labor demonstrates their deep understanding of seasonal cues and local microclimates. On a good day, a 4-horse team can plow up to 4 acres, depending on terrain and soil type. It's not as fast as a diesel tractor, but it's reliable, cost-effective, and quiet. A stark contrast to the roaring engines of industrial agriculture. The long-term success of Amish farms depends on a healthy, living soil. Instead of chemical fertilizers, they enrich their fields with barnyard manure, composted bedding, and green manure cover crops. After harvest, fields are often planted with mixtures of legumes and grasses, like clover, vetch, and rye, that prevent erosion, fix atmospheric nitrogen, and build organic matter. When spring arrives, these cover crops are cut and incorporated into the soil with sweep plows or discs, acting as natural fertilizers. Manure from livestock is composted in windrows, turning waste into nutrient-rich humus. Some communities rotate animals directly through crop fields to graze down residues and spread manure evenly. A low-tech, highly effective nutrient cycling strategy. This organic approach not only enhances soil fertility, but also boosts moisture retention, supports beneficial microbes, and eliminates the runoff concerns associated with synthetic inputs. Crop rotation is a cornerstone of Amish farming. A typical cycle might include oats or wheat 1 year, followed by corn, soybeans the next, and then 2 or more years of alfalfa or clover hay. This sequence disrupts pest and disease cycles, balances nutrient needs, and improves soil texture over time. Planning is done on paper, in farm journals, or discussed during community meetings. Since many Amish farmers cannot rely on computer models or mobile apps, they instead draw from generations of collective knowledge and seasonal observations. Coordination is key. Families may share horse teams, during peak planting windows or pull tools for efficiency. Despite the lack of modern tractors, Amish farmers achieve remarkable planting precision. Corn is often sown with horse-drawn planters, equipped with adjustable depth wheels and seed presses. For soybeans and small grains, gravity-fed seed drills or even hand broadcasting are used, with careful line marking to ensure uniform spacing. Seed selection is also a thoughtful process. While hybrid varieties are common, some communities maintain heritage seeds that are better suited to local conditions and allow for seed saving. Planting is synchronized with weather forecasts, shared through community newsletters or radio, ensuring fields are sown during optimal moisture and temperature windows. Weed control on Amish farms is largely mechanical. Spring-tooth cultivators uproot weeds between rows before they become established. For more delicate crops, hand hoeing is used, an intensive, back-breaking task that rewards diligence and timing. Some farmers also employ propane-powered flame weeders to scorch young weeds, especially in vegetable rows. Pest management takes a proactive, ecological approach. Amish farmers scout their fields regularly, checking for signs of insect damage, fungal disease, or nutrient deficiency. They encourage beneficial insects by planting native flower hedgerows and installing birdhouses for natural predators. In some cases, districts allow limited use of natural sprays, like sulfur, neem oil, or copper solutions, applied with backpack sprayers. These decisions are carefully evaluated by community elders to remain consistent with the ordinance. In dry regions, the Amish build gravity-fed irrigation systems that channel water from springs, streams, or wells through ditches lined with gravel or PVC. Simple hand-operated gates direct flow to specific beds. For market gardens, drip lines are sometimes deployed, fed by water tanks elevated on wooden towers. Pumps, if permitted, may be powered by solar panels, air compressors, or small gas engines used exclusively for irrigation. Mulch and cover cropping also play a key role in moisture conservation, helping to stabilize soil temperature and reduce evaporation. Amish farmers rely on tactile observation, feeling the soil between their fingers to determine when to irrigate. It's a low-tech but intuitive method that reflects their deep connection to the land. When it comes time to harvest, efficiency looks very different than in a mechanized operation. For grains like oats and wheat, Amish farmers first cut the stalks with a horse-drawn swather, lay them into windrows, then gather and tie them into sheaves by hand. These are stacked into field shocks to dry before threshing. Threshing is done with portable equipment, sometimes powered by stationary diesel engines or compressed air systems, depending on community rules. Corn is picked with handheld tools or small horse-drawn machines. Hay is mowed with sickle bars, raked, and gathered into windrows, then either baled using horse-powered balers or stored loose in barns. This slower process may seem inefficient by modern standards, but it maintains crop quality, reduces fuel costs, and builds community through shared labor. On smaller plots like market gardens and orchards, Amish growers use raised beds, will hose, and walk behind cultivators. Drip lines are installed to deliver precise irrigation, and pest control includes everything from kale and clay dust to pheromone traps. High tunnels, unheated greenhouses made of plastic sheeting, extend growing seasons and are passively cooled with burlap shades and vent flaps. Orchards are pruned and harvested entirely by hand, while chickens or ducks often roam beneath fruit trees, cleaning up pests and fallen fruit naturally. Livestock serve multiple purposes on Amish farms. Draft horses provide power, dairy cows offer milk, meat, and manure, and poultry contribute both eggs and pest control. Animals are rotationally grazed across pastures and crop fields, distributing nutrients and managing vegetation. Manure is collected and composted with straw bedding before being applied to fields. Rather than confinement systems, livestock are housed in open barns or moved frequently, reducing disease risk and improving animal welfare. Families often manage birthing, feeding, and basic veterinary care themselves, reinforcing a self-sustaining cycle of care and production. The Amish farming calendar follows the seasons, not stock prices or market algorithms. Spring brings soil preparation and planting. Summer is spent cultivating, haying, and weeding. Fall focuses on harvesting, preserving, and preparing for winter. And in winter, farmers repair tools, plan next year's rotations, and pass skills down to the next generation. Children learn by doing, feeding animals, harvesting produce, or helping in the shop. Apprenticeship replaces formal education, and community events like barn raisings and threshing bees build both skills and social bonds. Amish farming is not merely about avoiding machines. It's about embracing a different vision of success. One where productivity is measured not only in bushels per acre, but in resilience, soil health, and the strength of community. It's a system that resists automation in favor of authenticity, and it offers a living example of how human-scaled agriculture can still flourish in the modern world. By combining tradition, cooperation, and ecological insight, Amish farmers have crafted a model that challenges our assumptions and perhaps invites us to slow down and reconsider what sustainable farming really means. In an era dominated by high-powered machinery and digital tools, a small, Traditional community continues to defy the norms. The Amish. Known for their distinctive lifestyle, the Amish live without electricity from public utility lines, without cars, and without most modern technologies. But what truly amazes outsiders is how they manage to build entire homes, sometimes in a single day, without using power tools. The Amish are a group of traditionalist Christian church fellowships with Swiss-German Anabaptist origins. Most Amish communities are located in the United States, primarily in Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Indiana. They live by a code of conduct known as the Ordinum, which guides daily life, clothing, technology use, and social practices. While there are differences between communities, most Old Order Amish prohibit the use of electricity from the grid and internal combustion engines. This restriction shapes every aspect of their lives, especially how they build their homes. One of the most distinctive aspects of Amish construction is the absence of electricity. Amish builders do not plug in electric drills, circular saws, or air compressors. Yet their homes are built to last, often exceeding the quality of modern construction. To understand how they manage this, it's essential to explore their tools, techniques, materials, and methods. An Amish house building project is never a solo effort. Community involvement is a core aspect of the process. When a family needs a home, neighbors, relatives, and church members all come together. This practice is best exemplified in the tradition of the barn raising, where entire structures are erected in a single day through group labor. The same collaborative spirit applies to house construction. Roles are assigned in advance. Carpenters, roofers, framers, cooks. Everyone contributes according to skill or need. Amish construction reflects their values: simplicity, humility, and mutual aid. The first phase of Amish house construction is site preparation. This includes clearing the land, leveling the ground, and setting a solid foundation. For excavation and concrete work, some Amish communities may hire non-Amish contractors with powered equipment. Others use horse-drawn equipment or pneumatic tools, powered by off-grid air compressors. Foundations are typically poured concrete or concrete block. In colder climates, basements are common and must be insulated and waterproofed by hand. Once the foundation cures, the main building can begin. Framing is one of the most labor-intensive stages of building a house, and the Amish do it entirely without electric tools. They use hand saws, mallets, braces, augers, chisels, and framing squares. In some communities, pneumatic nail guns are powered by diesel or gas air compressors mounted on wagons, a permitted workaround under the Ordinum. Lumber is pre-measured and marked by hand. Every board is placed carefully using levels, string lines, and plumb bobs. This attention to precision ensures that the structure is sound. Within a day or two, walls are raised, floor joists are in place, and the roof begins to take shape. Installing a roof is a dangerous job, and the Amish rely on teamwork and timing. Once the trusses or rafters are installed, they move quickly to lay down sheathing, tar paper, and shingles. Hand-driven hammers are often used, although pneumatic roofing nailers are common in some districts. Metal roofing panels are also popular due to their longevity and fire resistance. These are cut using manual shears or off-grid power tools operated by air or gas. Because of the scale and complexity, dozens of men may be involved in a single roofing job, finishing it in hours. Doors and windows are often built by Amish craftsmen or purchased from suppliers who adhere to Amish standards. These are installed using chisels, hand planes, and manual drills. For siding, Amish homes frequently use natural wood boards, applied with precision and uniform spacing. In colder regions, clapboard or board and batten, siding helps insulate against the elements. All finishing work, from painting to caulking, is done manually. Brushes, not sprayers. Ladders, not lifts. Simplicity is not just preferred, it is required. Inside the home, Amish carpenters handle all framing, drywall, flooring, and cabinetry using hand tools or non-electric machines. Cabinets, for example, are built from scratch using dovetail joints and mortise and tenon construction. These techniques create strong, long-lasting joints without nails or screws. Hardwood floors are laid piece by piece, sanded manually, and finished with oil-based stains. Walls are usually painted in light, neutral colors to reflect available daylight, since electric lighting is not installed. If wiring or plumbing is required, for example, in more progressive Amish groups, it is installed discreetly and often powered by off-grid solutions like propane, solar, or battery systems. Because there is no central electric heating, most Amish homes rely on wood-burning stoves or propane heaters. Chimneys and stovepipes are installed during the framing phase, using fire-rated materials and insulation. Lighting is provided by kerosene lamps, gas lights, or increasingly, battery-powered LED fixtures. Skylights and large windows are also essential, maximizing natural daylight. The absence of electric HVAC systems means insulation must be meticulous. Double walls, tight seals, and thermal barriers are common in colder regions. The furniture inside an Amish-built house is often made by the family or a local craftsman. Each piece is constructed using hardwood and traditional joinery. Fixtures such as sinks and tubs may resemble those in English homes, but the plumbing is minimal and designed for water efficiency. Most homes do not have washing machines, dishwashers, or microwaves. Instead, they rely on manual methods. Clothes are washed by hand or with mechanical wringers and dried outside. Kitchens feature gas or wood-burning stoves with no electrical appliances. Amish homes are models of energy independence because they use almost none. The speed at which Amish homes are built is often surprising. With pre-cut lumber, detailed planning, and many hands, a full house can be framed and roofed within 1 or 2 days. The entire home, from foundation to finishes, may be completed in less than 2 months. Their speed is not due to cutting corners, but from sheer manpower and discipline. Everyone knows their task. There are no delays from permits, inspections, or subcontractors. Efficiency is achieved through repetition, coordination, and experience. It's important to understand that not all Amish communities follow the same rules. Some allow limited technology, such as hydraulic lifts, solar panels, or propane-powered refrigeration. Others reject any powered devices beyond hand tools. New Order Amish may use telephones, electricity from generators, or even computer-based bookkeeping in their businesses. However, homes remain low-tech. When it comes to building, the degree of permitted technology varies, but the core principle remains: simplicity, self-reliance, and separation from the world. The Amish rely on an impressive array of manual tools: hand saws for cutting lumber, braces and bits for boring holes, chisels and gouges for fine joinery, mallets and hammers for assembly, levels, squares, and plumb lines for precision. In communities that permit it, compressed air systems are used to power nail guns and drills. These compressors are operated by diesel or propane engines, not electric motors. Workshops are often powered by belt-driven machines run by small engines or by hydraulic systems connected to wind or water power. Their tool mastery is both practical and artistic. The Amish build without power tools because it aligns with their beliefs. Their way of life emphasizes humility, labor, and detachment from worldly conveniences. Building by hand fosters patience, cooperation, and craftsmanship. It also ensures that homes are made to be lived in for generations, not just decades. By avoiding the speed and ease of technology, they preserve skills that are nearly extinct in modern society. Their buildings are not just shelters, they are expressions of faith, community, and continuity. The Amish construction process teaches several universal lessons. Community is more powerful than machinery. Quality craftsmanship requires time and care. Simplicity can lead to durability and beauty. Manual tools, when mastered, can rival modern power tools. Independence from the grid is possible and sustainable. As interest in sustainable building and off-grid living grows, more people are looking to the Amish for inspiration. They show what's possible when tradition is combined with purpose.